Hoop Genius: How a Desperate Teacher in a Rowdy Gym Class Invented Basketball. Written by John Coy, illustrations by Joe Morse. In December of 1891, James Naismith, a young teacher, took over a Rowdy gym class that had already forced 2 teachers to quit. He didn't want to, but nobody else would teach that class. The students hated the boring exercises and gymnastics that they'd been doing over and over, so Naismith decided to try something fun. Indoor football. He needed something much less rough. The next day, Naismith suggested indoor soccer. He called a halt. In desperation, he turned to his favorite sport, lacrosse. Nothing was working with this group. Naismith felt like giving up but couldn't. The boys in the class reminded him of how he'd been at their age, energetic, impatient, and eager for something exciting. He needed a totally new game where, to avoid tackling, no running with the ball was allowed. He remembered playing duck on a rock as a boy. In that game, you knocked an opponent's fist-sized stone off a larger rock by throwing your own. If you missed, you had to retrieve your stone before you were tagged, so accuracy was more valuable than force. He snapped his fingers and said, "I've got it. How about a game with a goal off the ground that required an arcing throw?" That night, he stayed up late thinking about the new game. The next morning, December 21st, 1891, Naismith rushed into his office and grabbed a soccer ball. Now he needed a goal. He asked Pop Stebbins, the building superintendent, for a couple of square boxes. He didn't have them, but he had something else: 2 old peach baskets. Naismith tacked the rules to the gym bulletin board and promised the class that if this new game failed, he would not try any more experiments. Captains chose teams of 9 members, and Naismith selected 2 center men. He tossed a ball up between them, and they jumped for it to start the new game. Because the men had never played before, Naismith called many fouls for holding, pushing, and tripping. After 2 fouls, the players had to sit on the sideline until the next goal occurred. William Chase launched a shot from 25 feet. That went in for the first and only basket of the game. When Naismith blew the whistle to end the game, nobody wanted to leave. The next day, the students lined up eagerly for the game. They played hard but avoided fouling because they wanted to stay on the court. When students went home for Christmas vacation, they taught the new game to their friends. Soon people in cities, small towns, and on farms were playing basketball. In 1892, a group of women teachers from a nearby school asked James Naismith if they could play too. "I don't see why not," he said, and games were arranged. In one of them, Naismith, as referee, was shocked when he called a foul and one of the women protested as strongly as any man, but he remembered that game clearly. One of the women, Maud Sherman, later became his wife. By 1936, basketball was so popular around the world that it became an Olympic sport. James Naismith attended the opening